Hi, good evening. We're coming to you live from the Print newsroom. The question we're asking today is the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal waking up to his Delhi government promises rather late? Just to familiarize our viewers out there, this comes at the backdrop of an announcement that he made an hour ago, fulfilling one of his key poll promises about ensuring free Wi-Fi to residents of Delhi. This comes after the cabinet formally approved the proposal today. Post which Kejriwal in an official press conference an hour back announced that there will be 11,000 hotspots that would come up in Delhi, out of which 4,000 will be across bus stops and the remaining 7,000 would spread across other places in Delhi, across the 70 segments as well. So the question that we're trying to ask is, in fact, this is not the only recent announcement which has come from the Aam Aadmi Party ahead, of the assembly elections, which are slated for about 6 months from now, early next year. There have been a couple of announcements, starting from free metro and bus services for women in Delhi, which was announced on June 3rd. Post, and a lot of people have, drawn parallels between the Lok Sabha elections that took place and the massive defeat that the Aam Aadmi Party encountered in that. So there are a lot of parallels that are being drawn. You can send in your questions, and we will try and address some of these things, in the comment box below. Just to familiarize some of the recent announcements that the Chief Minister has made, starting from the first one, as I said, that Chief Minister now that free metro ride and bus services would be provided to women in Delhi on June 3rd, which of course has led to a huge debate, across the country in terms of how feasible it is. Of course, the defense from the party side has been that, it will ensure empowerment for women, also safety, security, among several other things. While nothing has been finalized at this stage, but there have been talks about a token system that could be put in place to ensure that the project is carried out, or the scheme comes out in a feasible manner. The centre, of course, hasn't given their orders yet. Just to familiarize, the metro, which is the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, has 50% stakes, the centre as well as the Delhi government. So the approval has to come from both ends for the project really to work. So in fact, this has been a bone of contention for the Aam Aadmi Party throughout, and perhaps one of their major reasons that they give for a lot of their poll promises not having got fulfilled is the constant tussle between the centre and the state. A lot of their files that they claim, where they came up with various poll projects or other schemes, could not be fulfilled till the very end because the files remain stuck in the LG's office. Coming up after that, of course, there have been several other promises as well. Even the installation of CCTV cameras inside classrooms in Delhi government schools again led to quite an uproar. While some said that it could be, led to a debate of the surveillance state. Are you intruding into, a child's life inside school? However, the Delhi government's defense was that, once you're outside your homes, there is nothing private. There is no concept of privacy. You're going to school, and it's only to ensure safety. There have been a couple of episodes in Delhi government schools, where children have been assaulted, etc. So the Delhi government said that this was an initiative to ensure that there is full safety and security. Of course, what comes of it remains to be seen. Similarly, there have been other announcements regarding registration of unauthorized pipelines across Delhi, ensuring rainwater harvesting across the Yamuna floodplain, and so on and so forth. Of course, the recent one being last week about providing free electricity to households consuming about 200 units to 200 units, and more than that would be a subsidy. I have some questions coming in here, so I'm going to start taking some of those from our viewers on Facebook. Mohan Sharma asks, will this announcement help in the upcoming Delhi election? I'm not sure which announcement you're referring to, but I guess it's the latest one about free Wi-Fi services. Well, it's difficult to say, but of course, critics and several other AAP ardent followers have been claiming that perhaps a lot of these announcements are to do with the whole vote bank politics. We must realize that AAP's credibility has perhaps gone down from, its defeat in the Lok Sabha elections. Things were different in 2015 when they came up with a, majority, about 67 from 70 seats. However, right now, this particular assembly election in 2020 is very crucial for the Aam Aadmi Party to, survive and have some say in the political era. So whether this will help or not remains to be seen. I think there are people to whom some of these announcements impact directly: free electricity, free water. These are issues of the Aam Aadmi. So while some might, go ahead and vote for, the party in the hope that these would be executed, I think there are others who are using their own due diligence and wondering that, making an announcement and claiming that these are freebies is one thing, but being able to, ensure proper governance and execute is another thing. So I guess this is something we'll know better once, the elections are held next year. Regina has another question. She says, what is the point of giving free Wi-Fi when most people in Delhi and NCR likely have access to an affordable internet data package? Well, that's a relevant point. In fact, it came up during the press conference as well today. And Arvind Kejriwal actually said that he partially agreed with this because, of course, the relevance of free Wi-Fi was more back in 2015 when he actually made, when this was included in the key poll promises. However, he said that there is a portion of, public out there which is still very keen to have such services. He said, जब भी मैं बाहर जाता हूँ मुझसे बहुत सारे बच्चे आके पूछते हैं कि आपका एक वो poll promise था about free Wi-Fi. So what about that? So he feels that there are areas where it would reach, where free Wi-Fi would reach people perhaps it didn't reach otherwise, even if they have other internet data packages or not. But yes, to answer your question, he did admit that perhaps the relevance was more back in the day. Other than that, Manisha asks, will the Wi-Fi connection across Delhi will be across Delhi or at specific locations? Well, he is yet to come out with the detailed press release with the technical aspects are yet to come out. However, as I announced earlier, that there are going to be, so far, there's a project it's a pilot project for 3 months. There will be 11,000 hotspots, out of which 4,000 will be at bus stands, and the remaining 7,000 will be at a couple of locations. The official list is yet to come out, so I think we'll have to wait for that to answer the question. However, the Aam Aadmi Party has also conveyed that about 15 GB will be provided free per month to every user out there. And I think each hotspot will cater to 200 users, just to add to that. There are a lot of other questions coming in. I'm going to take some of those. Apurva is asking, what are the other freebies that Kejriwal has announced in recent times, especially since elections are around the corner? So I think I answered that question partially a couple of minutes ago, but just to reiterate some of those, starting from free metro ride and bus ride for women, which happened on June 3rd, a couple of days after the Lok Sabha elections concluded, followed by the installation of CCTV cameras, inside classrooms. Of course, there are other places as well where the CCTV, it's not exactly a freebie, but I guess one of the poll promises that he has fulfilled only now across Delhi as well. But inside classrooms, also ensuring, I think water as a right has also been one of Kejriwal's key poll promises, which is why the registration of unauthorized colonies and pipelines came in as late as about, I think, 24th July, where he said that most of these would be registered. And in fact, that's one of the few times that we actually saw Arvind Kejriwal come out and vocally express his gratitude to the center for approving their project and ensuring that there were no hurdles in that aspect. Post that, of course, the free electricity announcement that came in as early as last week, where he spoke about 200 units for households getting 200 units, there would be free consumption, and post that there will be several subsidies, and the latest being today about free Wi-Fi. Shreyas is asking, how is he going to pay for the free electricity? How does the expenses and revenue match? Again, I think this is a question that was asked in the press conference as well, and the Delhi government said that perhaps they are figuring out a proper module from this, and they do have several funds already in place which have been allocated for this particular project, but I think some of it would end up coming from the tax checkers, pay income. Also, I have a lot of other things that they're asking. Just to go back to, sorry, I'm just trying to filter the questions as well. Srijan asked, is Kejriwal adopting an urban version of Modi's populist nationalist electoral strategy? Well, yeah, that's an interesting question. I think that's partially true. In fact, a lot of critics have written, and experts have written a lot of op-eds on this very subject, where they claim that perhaps Arvind Kejriwal is actually trying to adopt what Narendra Modi did in the early elections, where he came out with ensuring a certain amount to farmers across the country and paying them as much amount. I think maybe Arvind Kejriwal is perhaps trying to tap a similar module. However, I think how I put it is, while it's good politics, I'm not sure if it's good economics per se, because I think the funds, while you're announcing a lot of free things, perhaps a proper plan needs to be drawn out, which I'm not sure if it has been in every case, because each time there have been questions during several press conferences in which I've been present. I've not seen too many Delhi government officials come out with crisp answers to how they will execute some of these projects. So I think that, of course, remains a key concern as well. Rahul Singh is asking, won't this also increase unnecessary surveillance in this city? I'm assuming this is about the CCTV projects as well. Well, I think, yeah, that of course it would, but I think, again, that's a point that's been constantly debated, whether Arvind Kejriwal is perhaps creating, this continuous surveillance in the city where students are being monitored, inside classrooms, where perhaps, even when you're getting out of your houses, there's a camera on you. However, I guess their defense mode is that it'll also bring down crime, which has been on the rise in the national capital of the country. And in fact, today, he also claimed that earlier the Delhi government had announced about 140,000 CCTV cameras, but they were falling short. So just today itself, the Delhi government has announced that there's been a proposal for another 140,000 CCTV cameras. And they are trying to justify this by saying that it'll also help, identify criminals who are perhaps engaging, in crime against women, and ensuring safety and security for everyone around. So while I guess there are both sides to the coin, while some like to believe it'll help, identify criminals, bring down crime in the city and other aspects, there are others who feel like perhaps it's leading to too much of surveillance and monitoring in the state. I think those were some of the questions that we did take. Do read, we have done a couple of stories on some of these projects, so do check out the ThePrint website to understand what are the dynamics of all that. We will bring you the more, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.